Hi guys, this is Tony here from Metal Roos. You're about to sit down and enjoy an interview I just did um, over there, and so do like and subscribe so you can get all this straight into your streaming and into your consciousness as soon as it arrives. So enjoy the interview, and I will. Over to you, Tony. Well, thanks, Gina, for coming on from Darkyra. Am I pronouncing it right? Darkyra?
Yeah,
Am I pronouncing it
Darkyra,
correctly?
that's perfect.
Brilliant, brilliant. I got a chance to listen to the new album that is coming out very soon. Is it not? Is
Yeah,
it June? Is it tomorrow? Is it the next day? 7th?
13th.
13th. My God, my yeah, if days and numbers in my head. Um for people that don't know you, which is a sinful, I would like to say, Gina. Um People that don't know you, how would you describe your musical sound?
It's a combination actually. I probably wouldn't categorize it with the rest of the symphonic metal that's out there. It's
Hmm.
probably a cross between symphonic rock, prog, a bit of epic metal, um, gothic. Yeah, there's all sorts of, it's a mixed bag, really.
Yeah. Brilliant. And again, that's why I wanted to ask you because I listen to it and I hear all sorts of things. So it's always interesting to know what the mind and the spirit behind the band has to say about it because I put it on and it had all sorts of wonderful textures and colors and depths to it. And I don't like boxes. So it's nice not to be, hey, this is a box, so we can sell your record. This is who we are, right?
That's right. And I really hate being pigeonholed into one particular category. It's very much a mood thing with writing. So,
Mm,
um, yeah,
wonderful. I This is your third album, am I right? Correct?
yes, it is. Yep.
Wow. Okay, wonderful. We'll start from the beginning. I got this album, I saw the cover, and it reminded me, and I'm an old man myself, it reminded me of a camel cover, like the snow goose,
Okay. Yep.
yin and yang kind of thing. And I put it on and thought, okay, you're going to get some prog here. And it is quite proggy from my point of view, but it's so beautiful, Gina, the album. It's
Oh, thank
so
you.
beautiful. Where have you been hiding? Where have you been hiding?
I've been hiding for a while.
Yeah, because honestly, again, I mean, comparisons are lovely things to make because everyone likes to be compared to people in some way or another. But I do hear Taja, I do hear those big epic metal singers, but I also hear a lot of 80s pop almost in
Sure.
those vocals. Am I not being wrong there? I don't know. I hear it.
Kate Bush. A bit of
Yeah,
Kate
Kate
Bush.
Bush. Well, definitely Kate Bush because who doesn't love a bit of Kate Bush, right?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm a fan with both Ta I think you say it, Talia,
Gosh,
Talia.
Taya. Yeah, I interviewed her and got the name completely wrong. So it's okay.
So yeah, like I love her music as well as Kate Bush.
Mm.
I'm also a big Dio fan, and I listen to a lot of Scorpions as
Oh
well. So,
yes, well, you're speaking my language.
so I've got all sorts of things in my musical taste. Um, but yeah, it was very much combining all my influences and um I'm not really trying to be like anyone else, but having said that, you listen to all these different music from the past and you can't help but pick up influences from here and there and try and interpret your own style of music.
Mm.
For me, it's always been about the vocals and just trying to blend as many different kinds of aspects of my voice into the songs.
Yeah, and it comes across that way. I mean, where are you originally from? You're
I was
New,
born I was born in Perth.
yeah, Perth, right.
Yeah.
So, like there's a lovely lilt and to your voice. A lovely sort of internet. How do I say intonation? I'm not a singer. I shouldn't be saying these in terms like this. But what I mean is when I listen to it, it really grabs me. It's a real. When I ask you where you're from, it's because you have a kind of European sound to your
Well,
voice.
yeah. Well, my family, my heritage is Italian, so my mum came here when she was 9, and she's got a very heavy accent as well. Uh, yeah, so like, yeah, I've always kept that sort of Italian heritage. Even though I've never been to Italy, I'd love to go back and have a look at, where my family originated from. Um, but yeah, I guess it probably does come through in the vocals quite a bit.
Yeah, in the DNA, right? Because it's a musical country, Italy. So, it comes through. They sing when they do everything in Italy. So, like, it's lovely that it comes through. Because I was reading your history, and it started off as a solo project, but then you had international European musicians playing with you. Is that right?
Yeah, so basically when I first started out, I was still in the writing stages, learning how to write songs. So that's where Dragon Tears came into it. Um, and I ended up stumbling across a Greek production company. And at the time, they had just had a drummer hop on board by the name of Gary King, and he was into all that sort of symphonic type music and been around for a while and had the same influence as me. Played with Jolene Turner, and he
Jeff
was right
Beck, I
into that.
read. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's done quite a bit actually. He's got a huge list of musicians he's worked with. I think he even did some drums on Mike Lepon's solo album.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
amazing.
he's done quite a bit. Anyway, he put his hand up and said, "Yeah, like he was learning the ropes of production at the time," and we kind of hit it off. So from then on, basically, he was on involved in all my albums. And it was just really great to reconnect with him again on this last album, which
Brilliant.
was produced through his production company this time in France.
Yeah, I read that. It's got a great production to it. It has a really nice finish to the
Yeah,
sound. He's done a great job
yeah,
in the mixing and the production of it.
yeah. Like we've tried to keep that sort of organic feel about it
Mm.
because a lot of symphonic music, it can be really overproduced. And these days, everyone seems to compress the hell out of everything.
Oh God, yes.
So we've tried to kind of keep it a bit more organic. And kind of, even though we're in different countries as well, tried to emphasize that the sound of being in a real band.
Yeah, and I think that's what captured me when I heard it. It doesn't
Yeah,
have that plastic fantastic box.
no,
The people you get a lot these days with, like you said, heavily compressed. That's a perfect way of putting it because it is. It's all
yeah,
so tight, like you don't have any looseness whatsoever anywhere in
no.
it, which is what rock and roll is, isn't it? Like there's you've got to have the moments. But I want to talk. I really want to talk because I know this is really quite a powerful album for you to write. You went through a lot of reading the bio of the album and listening to the songs. I just had a connection, Gina, with a couple of them that I would just say like I almost brought me to tears. And I think that was a lovely. It was a real experience, and I feel that you putting your bearing your soul in these songs is something commendable because you've been through a bit of a rough one with this album and your life, and I think that's a great way of sharing it with the world.
Yeah,
I tomorrow, particularly tomorrow, never comes, or it was like,
yeah.
yeah, I lost a parent recently and watched them go, and reading those two, listen to those two tracks, also One Foot in the Grave as well. It was quite a cathartic experience. So wonderful that you can write that kind of music and elicit that kind of response
Yeah.
from people.
And it's actually, oh, this Saturday would be 3 years today that my dad's passed away.
Oh,
So
I'm sincerely sorry about that, but yeah, I lost my father last year. No one can put a no, I bring the mood to the interview down, but no one can really tell you how you're going to feel until that moment happens.
yeah,
But then when you put on tracks like that, you do go into that little world again and feel memories that you really want to feel again. It's wonderful. Musically, lyrically, vocally, it was just really uplifting. So the album's called Life Force, right?
yes.
Uh, and the album cover has the white dove and the black dove. Am I? That's what we've got on the front there. Are they doves?
Raven, Raven and a dove.
Raven and a dove, yes. Um, so is that for you the balance of the album? Is it yin and yang?
Yeah. So obviously, there's good stuff that
Oh,
happened,
oh
like
yes,
with
yes. I just so that reminded me of that.
the opening track, Life Force, like
Mm,
was more emphasizing the good stuff and reconnecting with friends across the globe.
mm,
Um, so yeah, it's all about balance. Everything's about balance and just even balance within yourself. It's like life, death, it's all a balance.
mm.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that there is a light on the album as well. I picked the dark because that's that's the most at the moment the most thing that hits me the most because of my experience. But there was light on that album, and like you said, I read somewhere where you said there's too much doom and gloom in in metal, and I think you're really right there. You know, there's a lot of it. We listen to a lot. You and I, we would listen to so much. It's coming through us like sun rays, and then sometimes it's just so heavy and dark that you do get a little bit go, come on. You sort of yearn for the 80s where it was just about poncing around in spandex and big hair. Like, uh, and so are you touring the album soon? I believe you're coming our way.
yes. We've got a few shows over East. Been the first time I've ever come over East. So we've got a couple in Sydney. I think there's even a
There
Canberra
is. I will
show.
be there.
And then we're heading off to Brisbane to do a few shows in Queensland.
Fantastic. So your audience obviously is spread right across the country, which is wonderful. But do you obviously you're in Perth? You have a huge fan base there?
We're just beginning in Perth,
Mm.
so like you know what it's like when you've been out of the music scene for a
Oh,
good, more than 8 years. It's like you're starting all over again.
yeah. Whole different
And
industry, isn't it? Yeah.
initially, when I put out the first two albums, I really didn't plan on doing anything in Australia. It was all marketed for overseas. So it's only kind of now that I've really started to think, well, maybe I should start doing stuff in my own country. But yeah, there's not a huge sort of symphonic scene or even prog scene for that matter. There's a handful of bands out there that you can kind of categorize in that group.
Yeah, because I find well, it's interesting because I don't know Perth's music scene that well. That's why I asked because like the prog stuff up Sydney, Melbourne, like, it's really big around these parts of the world. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of audience response you get um,
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, good. But yeah, I think it might take a while to build up an Australian fan base.
Yeah, well, it may be, but the voice you have is unique, Gino. It's a beautiful voice. I think the people who like music will like your music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People who genuinely understand.
yeah,
That doesn't always mean that doesn't put food on the table, unfortunately, but it is. But you know what I mean? Like people that and it will grow because
yeah,
I listened back to the first two albums And I really enjoyed the growth and change, even though you've had that time out. The growth between the last two albums and this one, because the first two were recorded quite quickly back to back, weren't they?
The first album itself took a while. That was
Mm,
done over a couple of years. The second album was very quick. I think like within a year that was done, and yeah, there was a lot of arrangements in the first two albums as well. So I had a lot of outside help
mm.
because I was still learning the ins and outs of writing. Thank God technology has come a long way since then. So the writing is actually a lot easier for me now. Um, yeah, I think I've just learnt a lot more, and I think I've also learnt a lot more about myself and about my vocal, and learnt how to record myself at home as well, which is really good. So I don't have to rely on studios to actually record my vocals.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that only saves you time and also saves money because you're not paying for stupid costs of studio time, eh? Like you can just.
Yeah, and I think also too, like you're a lot more sort of comfortable in your own environment. You're not being rushed. When you're in studios, you're always rushed. It's like, hurry up, get this down because it's always a time and money
Oh
factor.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, at home you can kind of there's no one around, so you're really comfortable and you can kind of experiment a bit more without having to worry about all that other stuff.
But again, listening to it, it sounds that way. It sounds um easy, not easy. I can't sing like you, my love, but it has an ease to it. It doesn't feel rushed, like you said, which is probably what I'm picking up in it. Um,
Yeah.
Also, so you say you write, let's say you're writing the album, so you write the lyrics.
I
Um,
write the lyrics, but
yeah,
I also write a full structure of the song. So I'll program everything in MIDI form.
right.
Like it's a simple sort of form.
Mm,
There'll be some basic sort of guitar chugs here and there. Sort of
mm,
like I just create whatever I can to kind of give the feeling I'm trying to get for the actual song.
mm.
Uh, but I'll record all the main vocals and all the backup vocals all in one hit, and I'll send the whole song, like the complete structure, to Gary overseas, and he'll automatically map out the drums. Although, like he gave me a whole heap of his drum loops, which made it really easy. Some of the
Oh,
stuff that
nice.
for magic amplitude, so it was like his drums anyway.
Yeah.
I just like picked out what I wanted on the song, and I kind of started from there. And then he just replaced them with yeah, with better like his physical playing drums. Um, and just made it work really well. And then handed it over to the other musicians who put their own sort of spin on everything, and it all came together really well. So they all knew exactly what I was trying to achieve with the particular songs. And yeah, and one of the interesting things with this album was the vocals that you actually hear on there weren't really replaced afterwards. So they were the original vocals that I recorded when I gave it to them. So I didn't go back and re-record.
Wow.
It's the original vocals, and everything was built around the vocal.
And you know what? Well, bravo, because again, you're not doing 95 million takes, and cutting and pasting. It is what it is, right? It's
Well,
your
it is.
sound.
The whole point of it was to try and capture what I was feeling at that particular time of writing the song.
Mm.
So I didn't want to have to go back and re-record it just in case I didn't capture that same feeling.
Well, yeah, and that's what a lovely way. I mean, that's really very clever, very
It's
astute
not
in that
something I would
respect.
normally do because normally I would go back and, re-record everything again. But it was more of an experiment on this particular album, just of a different way of trying to capture some more feel into everything.
Well, it corresponds with the album, doesn't it? It corresponds with the ethos and the character and the story of the album. That it's all about emotion and rawness and energy, and I think that captures that That's perfect. I didn't know that. It's a lovely thing to know. Who when you're touring with the with this album and coming our way, who's in your band? Did you
Okay,
have to
so I
pick a
have
band?
no, I have musicians
Mm,
here. So I've recently reconnected with Dave Lyon, who was a guitarist that was in Darkyra years ago when I performed my very first show in Perth. So that was way back in like, oh, I think it was 2015, 2016 when Full came out.
mm.
We did one show at the Civic. So Dave's hopped on board again. And then we've got a fairly new drummer to the scene, touring with me, Drew Casella. He's been out of the game for a good 10 years and he had his first gig only a week ago with us. And yeah, it was fantastic.
Oh, brilliant.
Yep, and we've got Mars on bass. So he's on a couple of the tracks on a couple of the recordings, like Celebrity Smile, and
Oh, I like that one.
yep, and he also was the writer behind Take Me Far Away. So
Oh,
he's
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was his little number that I just kind of rearranged a bit and added a vocal line to.
Yeah. Make it wait for your signature sound for your voice.
Secularized it. Yep.
That's it, to curarize it. That's the term. That's the term. Oh, brilliant. I'm really pleased that you're going to take it out on the road
Yeah.
and you're going to show it because it does deserve to be heard live. I think I'm looking forward to it. Because you're playing in a little place down the road from me, so it'd be nice to turn up and be able to see a voice like that in Canberra. It's not happened often. So oh dear, dear, dear. So, look, I just want to say that it is a great album. Thank you for coming and chatting with us and with me about it. It was a real pleasure to hear it. It was a real pleasure to realize that that kind of sound is made in this country, and I'm really proud of it. You know what I mean? I'm really proud that we Australians can do that.
Thanks.
You know that it, yeah, yeah, and you know what? I know this is completely off topic, but I really I really, how do I say this? I really appreciate how much work women do in metal, particularly females in metal. It's not an easy um, genre of music to be in. It's very masculine, uh, and I think that it's really great that when a voice can come through and you go, yeah, that's as good as anyone else gets. That's it, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and also you do it on your own, making the effort on your own. Like you said, you producing all on your own, doing all the stuff on your own. It's amazing. Like, good on
Yeah.
you. Like, and I don't mean to sound patronizing. I mean that in a positive way. Like, it's fantastic because I wouldn't be able to do it. I would sort of go, what do I do now? Where do I start? What's going? Really, really proud of you. Fantastic. Um, but I just want to leave you with saying thank you very much for coming on. I know that it's quite a time difference between there and here, getting things mixed up, and you've got rehearsals to do, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this weekend, I've got a busy weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've been oogling your Marshall stack. I have to say, behind you, the white Marshalls, they're very nice.
That's my husband's Marshall stack.
Oh, it's lovely.
And- yeah, and I've got like my son, he's 17, he also plays guitar, so he's kind of yeah, there's a bit of a collection here of
I bet there is.
amps.
You don't see many white ones. Look at going, ooh, that's nice.
No, that's the Randy Rhodes signature edition.
Uh, well, there we go. You've said that, the double R. It's that's the way. If only we could all plug ourselves in and sound like Randy Rhodes, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Because I plug in and make a horrible noise. So
Yeah, well, I can't play guitar, unfortunately, but
no, but you have an instrument, and your instrument is wonderful. So yeah, yeah. Don't sell yourself short because you don't need a guitar. You got this. And a lot of people would want that. You can teach this. You can't really
yeah.
teach that, So, not really, anyway. Not in my opinion. But anyway, thank you. I'll wrap it on. I'm sorry. It's late here, and it's just been nice to chat to someone in the same country.
Thanks for the interview, Tony.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I'm sorry I rabbled on. I can't get like that. But enjoy the rehearsals. I'm looking forward to see you in Canberra, and I hope the rest of the tour um, does well, and the album comes out and smashes it.
Thanks. Awesome.
All right, and
Thanks so
and it will be on available on all streaming platforms, won't it? It'll be available on all the
Yes, that's also coming out on the 13th. I think the pre-save links are all out at the moment.
brilliant,
So by YouTube, Apple Music, all those.
all
Yep.
the usuals, wherever
All
you
the
get
usual.
fire music. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, again, thanks for the chat.
Thanks.
Love the album. I said it really brought up emotions in me, which I was thankful for because it was really lovely to have those moments from the song. So positive and and uplifting as it is. So
Awesome. I'll see you in Canberra.
I'll see you in Canberra. I'll be there at the front. Okay, bye bye.